Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on just a bunch of DC news that's come out over the past handful of days, depending on when you're going to get this video. But I'm going to try and upload it tomorrow from when I'm recording it. And yeah, there's a decent amount to talk about. Probably two big ones, big ones at least trended on Twitter and had people discussing and yeah, just going down different roads in regards to weird theories and stuff like that. And then just a couple of other smaller pieces which relate to future projects, either happening very soon or maybe like later in the year. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on all this. Always curious to read what you guys are thinking. And of course, if you want to drop a like on the video, it takes 2 seconds, supports the channel. So we're going to go through the first one of these. It's probably not the biggest, but both of these ones probably relate to it. This one at least is the most enduring, like the one that just felt like, God, finally it's over. And this is in relation to David Ayer and his cut, or the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad from 2016. Now, he's been long ongoing about how the movie that we got in 2016 is like a travesty compared to what his cut of the film was, and his cut is like vastly superior, and it can change people's view on the film. I guess it would have been an Oscar winner or something. Like the first one was an Oscar winner, one for like makeup and hair, I think, something like that. But I guess this would win for screenwriting and directing or something like that, the Ayer cut. But now he's officially given up his pursuit after whatever amount of period is. And that's good for David Ayer. I think it's just healthy for all parties involved. This was never coming out. And like, I think, well, the thing is that everything that's come out about his version of Suicide Squad that wasn't in the 2016 version that we got in theaters, it sounds even worse. Like, it sounds boring. The thing with that first Suicide Squad movie is that all the reshoot stuff, or that the stuff that he's claiming was reshoots and stuff, was probably the best part of the movie. Like that opening 25-30 minutes of the movie where it was really fast paced and a lot of fun. Best part of the movie, and then it turns into some really boring stuff with a weird clunky third act and stuff like that. This is good for all parties involved. David Ayer can move on to doing whatever he's doing. I think he has a new movie coming out next week or the week after. I think it's 2 weeks here in Australia. I think it's next week in America, or this coming week in America. Beekeeper, I think it is. So it's good. It's good that that's happening. Now, if this, I was going to say the Suicide Cut, if the Snyder Cut had generated more views and was a bigger hit, maybe the Ayer Cut had a chance of coming out. But as soon as the Snyder Cut just came out and was like, okay, did okay, but didn't really break any records. Like, I think it came like 5th for 2021 on HBO Max in streaming. The Ayer Cut had really slim pickings slim chances of coming out because it's a smaller product than the Snyder Cut, and really, like, there wasn't that much interest. Like, it was a very small online army, if you want to call it, compared to the Snyder Cut. So it didn't have much chance of coming out. There was no real actor support either. Like, Margot Robbie had really been like, yeah, like, it is what it is, and just really didn't back him. And it wasn't like with the Snyder Cut where they had that day where, like, all the actors tweeted out, like Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill. Did Henry Cavill? I know if Henry Cavill did, but like Momoa and everything like that, when they all tweeted out or like posted stuff on social media, nothing really happened with the Ayer Cut. No one's really backed him, so there wasn't really much support. I know there was the whole thing where, like, James Gunn apparently promised him that it would see the light of day when it's, you know, the time's right. But now David Ayer is claiming that, like, no one at Warner Brothers really cares about it, and they have no plans to release and stuff like that. So now he's sort of given up all hope because I guess it needed to come from that side that there was some sort of chance, so he's moved on. Now, he's said this in the past. It was about 18 months ago or something that he said he was done with it, and then like 2 months later came back releasing photos of Jared Leto's Joker. So we'll wait and see. Maybe by the middle of this year he's back campaigning for it, but at least for now, he's saying that he's done, he feels defeated, and he just wants to move on. But in relation to Suicide Squad, because it was the first movie the character appeared in, Margot Robbie was talking about other people playing the character, because she was asked about, like, Lady Gaga's interpretation of Harley Quinn that's going to be in Joker 2 or Joker Folie à Deux. And she just pretty much said, like, hey, like, the whole point is that, like, you know, other character, you know, people can come on and play the character and stuff like that. But now people are claiming that this is saying that she's not playing Harley Quinn anymore, which is not the case. People just, I guess, didn't click on the actual interview and just took a quote out of context and went with it. That's not what she said. It's just that, you know, there's no, you know, she's fine with other people playing the character. Now, James Gunn followed up on this because someone asked him about, like, is Margot getting recast or whatever, and he said they hadn't talked to her about Harley Quinn in quite a while. whatever a while is. He didn't give a specific time frame, but he said he has no plans for anyone else to play Harley Quinn in the DCU. Now, we don't know necessarily when Harley Quinn's first appearance in this new DCU would be. There's no Suicide Squad movie planned. Nothing there. Maybe she could appear in Batman Brave and the Bold as Harley Quinn. I guess that would make sense. She's in Gotham. But yeah, there's no plans at the very least for her to be in any of the upcoming projects. For now, things change. You know, Superman Legacy is really the only thing that has, like, you know, because it's about to film, has any proper things going on. So that's a wait and see. But there's people saying that Margot Robbie has to be gone for it to be full reboot, and this just makes me... You know when you get like... You know when you're like, I don't know if it's on your bus, or it's just when you move your head too quickly, or like at the kitchen when you open a cupboard and you just forget it's open and you lift your head really quickly and you hit it. Whenever I see someone go, Margot Robbie, for example, or a couple of months ago was Gal Gadot, they have to be gone because it has to be a full reboot. Whenever I see someone say that, it feels like I've done that. Like, lifted my head up and hit a cupboard on the corner, like a really pointy thing to the point you go, am I bleeding? Is my head bleeding? Amanda Waller has a show. Peacemaker has a show. What are people on about? It's not a full reboot. Those two things existing cancel it out being a full reboot. Can it be mostly a full reboot? Yeah. But it's not a full reboot. It's like your phone's not fully charged. And Amanda Waller, her first movie in DC with Viola Davis was Margot Robbie's first movie as Harley Quinn. Suicide Squad in 2016 by David Ayer. So I don't know why people keep going on about this full reboot thing. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We know it's not going to happen because those two projects are confirmed. Peacemaker Season 2 and The Waller Show. Peacemaker was just in a movie with Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. So it just, I think it just, I don't want to say it's silly people on the internet, but I think it's just people that don't understand, or just, I guess people just forget about those projects maybe. Maybe they just, which is fair enough, maybe they just forgot that the Amanda Waller Show is happening. Maybe they just forget the Peacemaker Season 2 is happening, and they're just looking at that new stuff like Superman Legacy, Swamp Thing, Batman Brave and the Bold, Creature Commandos, those things. Maybe they just forget. If that's the case, fair enough. If they remember those projects and are still calling for a full reboot by getting rid of Margot Robbie, I might just hit my head again, because that's what it's going to feel like if I see that again on goddamn Twitter. Another thing that came out in regards to Superman Legacy, this first thing kicking off James Gunn's DCU, was Phoebe Dynevor. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Now, she was one of the actresses in like the last running for Lois Lane, which of course that role did go to Rachel Brosnahan. She's going to be playing that character in Superman Legacy, but she was talking about the audition process and just sort of like the whirlwind time that it was. I guess just, you know, in those last like, you know, stages before the final decision was made in regards to who's going to be playing Lois Lane. And she was just talking about, like, you know, like Lois as a character and how cool it would have been to play the character and everything like that. And people feel that she spoiled the movie because she says that, like, you know, Lois is, like, strong and, like, Lois saves Superman. And I think people just think that, like, that's the ending of the movie. Like, Superman's, like, getting shot by a kryptonite bullet and Lois, like, dives in front of it, like, no, or something like that. I think people I don't know. Maybe just people don't understand, like, Lois is important to the character of Superman. Lois is important to Clark, Kal-El, and Superman in more ways than one. She keeps Superman grounded. She keeps Clark grounded from the Superman side of life so he can just be Clark. But also she connects Kal-El to humanity. She's the most important part in regards to keeping Clark, Kal-El, and Superman all connected as one, but all connected to humanity, because he's an immigrant. He's not from Earth. So she keeps him planted on this planet and, you know, fighting for this, you know, civilization. She's the one that keeps him grounded towards all that. She's a very important character. So it's going to be, that's one of my most intriguing things about Superman Legacy, because you can stuff it up. You can not do a good job with it. I don't think Man of Steel did a very good job with it with Amy Adams. She just wasn't a very good Lois Lane, but also she didn't really have that much rapport or chemistry with Henry Cavill's Superman, which is that's more of a casting issue rather than those two actors. Sometimes you just don't get on, like in regards to being on screen and, you know, everything like that. So that's something I'm very intrigued about with Superman Legacy, is how that's done. And I think James Gunn gets that. I think he gets that, but also I don't know if he's really talked about it at the same time. But that's a wait and see when Superman Legacy comes out in, like, what, 18 months or something, 19 months from now, whatever it is. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Now with Phoebe Dynevor, people are wondering, because like the Nicholas Hoult thing where he went through like for 2 different roles and ended up getting Lex Luthor, could she get something else? And because now she's on James Gunn's radar. People are saying like maybe Barbara Gordon or Batgirl, or maybe she could be Iris West because she's like, I think she's a natural blonde, but she's got red hair at the moment. She's rocking like a redhead look, I think. Or that's a photo that I've seen going around. So people picked 2 redhead characters from the comics of Barbara Gordon and Iris West. I mean, that could easily happen. I'm sure that's usually what happens in Hollywood anyway. That's why you do as many auditions as you can, so you're on casting agents like radars and stuff, and they remember you. So that could easily happen. I don't know if that's going to happen. That's a wait and see. And there is 2 other things with Superman Legacy that have to do with the movie, but also have not to do with the movie at the same time. Hopefully that makes sense. So the first one is something that will come out, but is James Gunn is saying we won't be seeing in 2024, and that is a trailer for Superman Legacy. He's saying there will not be a trailer for Superman Legacy in 2024. The movie comes out in the middle of 2025, so you can easily just have your first trailer be in that first handful of months in 2025 at the beginning of the year. I don't know what Warner Brothers movies are coming out at that time, because usually you release a trailer to go alongside one of your other movies. And usually no big movies come out at the beginning of the year. Maybe if you're lucky at the end of February or early March, you might get like the first couple of big movies of the year coming out. So I don't know what that means in regards to if it's going to be attached to a movie or if it's just, hey, it's Superman, so just going to get its own trailer that comes out. But there is Joker at the end of this year, so maybe they might put like a teaser thing there. And also, when they say trailer, that means you can still put like a first look thing out there, maybe like a quick action scene or something like that. Comic-Con is in July in San Diego. July in San Diego. So I'm sure there might be like something released there, but it could be exclusive to people that just go. So people like what they did with Aquaman, the first Aquaman back in 2018, I think it was, or 2017, whatever it was. So that could happen. I'm not too sure. But they also could do a first look. A first look could just be like almost like a trailer, but it's also something that won't be released in theaters. So it's not a proper trailer, but it's the same thing as a trailer. So that thing could happen. CCXP at the end of the year as well. There's different events where they could show stuff, but also there's enough time at the beginning of 2025 where they don't have to release a trailer until the beginning of that year. So we'll wait and see. At the moment, at the very least, there's no plans for a trailer, but that can quickly change. So we'll wait and see. And also, we're talking about Viola Davis before as Amanda Waller. I guess someone asked him on one of the social medias, is Amanda Waller going to be in Superman Legacy? And he says, no, she's not. And I think he also said like, if that was a report, it's false. Now, whatever. I wasn't expecting Amanda Waller to be in Superman Legacy. I don't know if other people were. So she's not. So I guess the first project we see her in is either Waller or maybe Creature Commandos. She could do a voice in Creature Commandos. That wouldn't shock me. But at least in live action, I guess it's either going to be Peacemaker or the Amanda Waller series. Just probably Amanda Waller. I'd assume Waller comes out before Peacemaker, just because James Gunn said he's going to be handling Peacemaker Season 2, and he's got to get through Superman Legacy. So I guess Waller's the first live action appearance we'll see the character in. I guess. We'll wait and see. And the final thing to talk about is actually in regards to something I saw on Twitter, and actually just curious to see what people think and just get my own 2 cents about it. But people going on about James Gunn not being able to attract big actors. Now, people are basing this off Superman Legacy. Now, I've stressed, this is the movie I didn't expect anyone big to be in, outside of maybe Perry White and maybe the Kents, like Pa and Ma, or Martha and Jonathan Kent. Those are the only ones and maybe Lex Luthor, but Nicholas Hoult was cast, and he's arguably the biggest person on the cast alongside Nathan Fillion. And both of them really aren't that, big in the biggest sense when you look at like Hollywood and actors and everything like that. So with Superman Legacy, I wasn't expecting massive names. I really wasn't, because you don't need to. It's goddamn Superman. You don't need big names. However, when we get to things like Booster Gold, Swamp Thing potentially, probably not Supergirl, but just things like that, like other movies that are down the line, probably The Authority. When we get The Authority, I'm assuming some big names, especially in some of those bigger roles. That's when I'm expecting big names. And if James Gunn struggles at that point, then I'll believe the thing where people are going on that like bigger names don't want to work on DC or with James Gunn, whatever it is. But at the point, basing it off Superman Legacy's casting, silly, because it was never going to be big castings. It was always going to be like smaller to middle actors. That was always going to be the case. I think people are just being overreactive on Twitter. What's new? Nothing. So I'm just going to ignore that at this point, at least in regards to giving it any serious thought, and we'll relate back to like maybe whoever's Batman, because I think they'll probably try and cast someone notable as Batman, especially because it's going to be like a bit of an older Batman compared to like Robert Pattinson's, for example. So maybe that could be the thing we look at, but that's for us to wait and see who they cast. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like and a show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts and everything we went over. I'm always curious to read what you guys are thinking, and of course if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.